banter and shit.
Shout.
We are now live.
Who do I think I am? Dallas.
You're our Dallas.
Yeah.
Extreme weathering.
You're our weirdo.
That's fair.
So, Nova Open. I now
Yep.
have to split my unit with Aggie because Aggie wants to paint too.
Oh, that's fair.
That's okay. And I'm like, that,
She's a good painter,
it's a
too.
10-man unit. So what they're doing
It's
is
a
we're gonna
big-
get
yeah.
two of
Do you
the
guys have
special-
to coordinate your paint scheme?
Yeah, except what we're going to
Well,
do.
doesn't the entire army get? Hello.
the
Hey,
entire-
Vengeance.
Yes, the entire army is coordinated. But what we're going to do is they're going to get two of the exclusive keg carriers or whatever they're called.
Oh, yeah.
Aggie
so-
probably already has those.
Yeah.
She bought like a dozen of the damn things.
Oh,
we
did
get-
she?
We get them for we're getting all this stuff from Privateer Press. That's their donation for this, right? So they're going to get an extra two, and then you can also use it as 2 min units, and the 2 min units will be separated out by our slightly different paint jobs.
Ah, okay, cool.
Which is pretty cool.
Because things like our tartans will not line up, and
Yeah,
true.
kind of shit.
That's fair.
Yeah, because that was my comment. I was like, I'm happy to share, but at the same time,
Those tartans ain't going to match.
our shit ain't gonna match. We are very different painters. But no, it's pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about the whole thing.
Good evening, chats.
Hello.
There's we got to get James back on the
Yeah, for sure.
back casting sometime
Why
soon
don't-
because he's actually got like a shit ton of cool things.
Do we do that before the hiatus then?
I was thinking for the 100th episode, we might actually want to invite, tell all of our regulars.
Yeah.
To just sketch
come
in
on at
for a
once.
bit. Yeah, well, just to sketch in for a bit.
Yeah.
And we just go bloop. Okay,
Yeah.
James is on for a while. And
Yeah.
we just have fun and get drunk. And
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
it'll probably be January.
At this point, it's going to be.
second week of January because we're gonna be off obviously for Christmas.
Yeah.
because that's next week.
Word. Oh, shit. Christmas is next week.
I bought
Well,
all
it's
my
not
so
actually.
much to do.
It's not
I bought all
actually
my
next week.
gifts.
It's
Well,
It's
yeah.
Saturday. Something like that. Saturday or Sunday.
Wait, what's the
it's not this weekend. It's next weekend. It's like the Monday or Sunday or something.
I think it's Sunday.
Oh no, it's
13th?
it is Sunday because
Friday is.
It's less than 2 weeks.
I know it's Sunday because our church has this is the year that you get the extra service.
Mm-hmm. I got everybody's gifts today. I did the walk of Almont and bought everything. It was
Yeah.
awesome. I did stocking stuffers at Lee Valley. 'Cause that's
Nobody is ready for the holiday pub night. Not even. In fact, you know how bad it is.
We might have
Our
to walk
regular-
back to my place.
Our regular waitress
Yeah.
has
She's
left,
left.
She's left
the
the
country.
Yeah.
She fled the country when she heard you people were
Yeah.
coming.
I did, Vengeance. I got your email. I forwarded it to George. So
Yep.
I think he's got it. I forwarded it to both of your emails because I don't know which.
So what is the? Yeah, we'll talk about it on the cast.
Yep.
I'll ask those questions on the cast. So I binge watched Ash versus the Evil Dead today.
So
I've
good.
got 2 episodes left of the
Nice.
first season.
Oh, the first season. I was going to
Holy
say, how did you
shitballs.
watch it all?
Holy sh! Well, it's only half-hour episodes, and there's
Yeah,
only
But there's
12.
2 seasons.
Yeah,
I didn't watch.
2
They
seasons.
don't have the second
Second
season.
season.
On
Second
Netflix.
season is on USA Netflix, but
It's
not
not on
Canadian
Canadian.
Netflix.
Holy shit balls! It's awesome.
So good.
And I love how there's certain things that they're just doing in that series that are
They
hilarious.
couldn't. Yeah.
Like every time Ash leaves a room covered in blood and comes back in, he's
He's
perfectly
clean.
clean.
Yeah.
But the sidekick guy is
Always
always covered
covered.
in blood.
Yeah.
And the
Poor
only hint
Pablo.
the only nod they've ever done to it was, "Do you have a towel or something?" So
Yeah.
he hands him a moist towelette. It was friggin' brilliant, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so much good in
Yeah.
that show.
It's really fantastic.
And they just don't even acknowledge the fact that Ash is like the sexiest man on earth. And it's like, eventually women just change their minds. and
Yeah.
They're cool about it. Oh my God, that was so good. That was one of the best binge days I've had in a long time. Since my cohort at Jackson threatened to make me watch all the Star Warses that involve Jar Jar Binks today. I was like, he's like, what order should I watch Star Wars in? I'm like, you should watch it in the Machete version. Here it is. He's like, the problem with that is I love Jar Jar Binks. And I'm like,
Jesus
and that
Christ.
is, I don't.
And now I can't have you as a friend anymore.
Well, the worst part is,
Marbles just found a new best friend.
Yeah, I know.
yeah, she and James can go. Yeah, she and
Watch
James
all
and
the
Tom
Jar Jar
can
they
all
want.
do
The Jar Jar cut.
voice all day. The Jar Jar cut. And the worst part was I ended up getting preview tickets for tomorrow. And
Twice or something?
but I can't go now because I've already got tickets for Friday. And if I go Thursday, see it, and then go, he will cry.
Yeah.
'cause
Why I would just not tell either one and go twice.
Like one would be June, and she
So?
would know.
Yeah.
It's too bad. But yeah, so we're
If either of you guys want a glass before we get started, you should probably grab one.
pour it in there.
Yeah, that's fair.
Wouldn't be the first, wouldn't be the last.
I probably should be okay. I gotta drive home.
Yeah.
I'll just drink some Kraken right out of the bottle.
So today's the first day I'm actually feeling like a human again.
Yeah,
After like
not
4
shitting
days of
yourself
the
and-
flu. Yeah. Like
A lot of pooping. yourself.
terrible.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Coming at both ends.
Yep.
That's the worst.
All over the place.
Ugh.
Like puking with your pants down because you're just not sure.
Oh, the
Uh,
best.
We call that getting
TMI.
swifty.
Yeah,
You
I
got
watched.
swifty all over it.
I watched the entire all 3 seasons of Black Mirror while I was sick.
Oh my
man,
God!
that's a
Because your
start.
body was fucked up. Why not
Why
do
not
your
soothe
mind?
Your brain?
Yeah,
Then
exactly.
I'm just gonna binge watch some Dexter for 4 days and not sleep.
Yeah, it
Maybe
was.
I'll come out a psycho killer.
Yeah, yeah. I
Qu'est-ce
also.
que c'est?
Oh, what else did I watched all of the 2 Towers and Return of the King at
Nice.
once. Yeah.
Just like
At the
on
same time.
3 on
Yeah. 2 screens.
It's like the Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
Wizard
One
of
eye
Oz.
over
here.
Yeah.
You sync them up and they.
Yep.
Have you ever actually done that? Like that is
I
actually
have.
surprisingly.
Yeah.
I haven't.
It is-
I have. I don't 100% remember doing it, but
I may have done it.
I did.
I definitely have done it, and I remember most of it. Yeah, most of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Watching Black Mirror when you're really, really sick is definitely recommended. It's kind of fucked up.
Oh man. George.
Finished off Longmire.
I still have a season and a half.
Yeah, like I was right up to date, and then they released it on Netflix, and
Last season.
I held off for a little while, and then watched
Yeah.
it.
It's on my list. I was getting a little bored of Longmire last season.
Really?
I
Last
watched,
half.
yeah, I
Maybe
watched
it's
a
'cause I
season and a
watched
half,
too
and I was
much
like,
of it.
this is very procedural.
Well, it was good up until I think they got kind of lost in beating the crap out of him all the time.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like he was always like something was always
Something
going
wrong,
down.
yeah.
To take away his.
Well, that's the show.
Well, I know
Yeah.
that, but it's
Like
but
the-
it got a little bit heavy-handed, and it got like I'm finally out of the woods, and everything's son of a bitch. I find that a little convoluted after.
They did a really neat setup in the last season that I thought was going to pay out in a completely different way. Like it was one of those. It was like they show you this thing and you're like, oh, that's gonna solve this other problem over here, and then that's not how it works out at all. And you're like, oh, wow, that was actually refreshing. The gun on the mantelpiece was used to hammer a nail instead of
Wow.
shooting someone. It was great.
The Doctor Who is only like
Yeah.
Doctor Who Christmas special,
Christmas,
and
yeah.
Regeneration is only like what a week
Yep.
away.
Yeah. Christmas Day.
First Doctor and Last Doctor currently.
Last
Yep.
Doctor and first female. It's gonna be amazing. I'm super
Yeah.
stoked about this.
Yeah. I'm really excited.
New
too.
producer. We need a new producer. I mean, I love Moffat. Don't get me wrong, but I think I think
Have you guys
Yes, sir.
watched Broadchurch?
yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that guy.
Yeah.
So it'll
Same
be
producer
interesting.
and
Yeah.
Same actor.
Yeah. Same
It's-
same show runner.
So it's going to be all shot with a lot of low depth of field.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what's going to happen. So that's exciting. I started watching the latest season of Agents of Shield,
Oh,
which a lot of people
I
gave
haven't-
up on.
I didn't check out, but I stopped watching the season that had Captain America in it, that led up to the Captain America
Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier.
So they didn't, and that never had it. He never shows up. They just
No.
no, but
switch over to
everything.
Winter
So
Everything led up
if
to
you
that
wanted
movie,
to
yeah.
actually watch all of Winter Soldier, you watch the first half of that season, you watch Winter Soldier, and then you watch the second half of that season. Because
okay.
Winter Soldier is literally one day
Yeah.
in the middle of that season.
No shit,
All
really?
Yeah.
the other shit happening.
And everything, like everything that works up to that movie
Okay.
happens in the TV show.
Oh,
It's
interesting.
really good. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed it,
Huh.
but then they
They-
went on break,
might
and
have
I
to
didn't
watch
get
that.
back into it.
They got me back with Ghost Rider.
Oh, okay.
I had
I
heard,
heard he was
When they
back.
brought Ghost Rider,
I heard he
in,
was
and
like-
it's not the,
It's not the truth. It's not the.
it's not what's his
motorcycle
face.
Ghost Rider.
It's
the
the,
other
Oh.
one.
it's the car one, right?
It was the one that that they did like a short series comic for. They
Yeah.
brought, they
Oh,
brought that one
okay.
in. It's like a Latin Ghost
Interesting.
Rider. It's pretty fucking bad.
Yeah.
They had me at Ghost Rider, and Ghost Rider is always Ghost Rider. It doesn't really matter. I mean, it does matter who has.
Yeah, but you don't get the wonderful Nicolas Cage faces.
Oh, thank God.
I tried watching that again when I
Robbie Reyes, apparently.
I was just like
Robbie
no.
Reyes, yeah, that's the one. So that was really good, and so I gave it a chance again, and they did some neat things, and they're starting to add more of the Marvel Universe into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
That's cool.
The latest season, they went a totally different
Direction.
bizarre, crazy ass route, and it's interesting. It's gonna be like well, we're going this way this time.
Let's go left.
So you guys excited about the Disney takeover of Fox tomorrow?
That, well, it depends. Tomorrow is also FCC Day, where they shoot the U.S. internet in the foot.
Oh Christ!
And then, yeah, they're hoping that you'll forget about it.
Yeah, tomorrow's a big day.
And
well, it
then-
doesn't matter if I forget about it. I'm in Canada.
Did you know that? Well,
do shit.
we can't do shit about it, but it will
it'll
still
affect
fuck
us,
everything
yeah,
up.
for sure.
The
I have a feeling the Senate will vote it down, though. I think it'll go through the first level
and then it'll get shot.
it's got to. I mean, it's
yeah.
so private interest. It's not funny.
Yeah.
Interestingly, Fantastic Four isn't owned by Fox.
I thought it was.
But they
No.
I heard that Marvel got the rights back to Fantastic Four already.
I had not heard that. So the thing is, it was bought up by, I can't remember the name of the company. It's this like little tiny production company, and they're the ones that made the really shitty.
Last one.
No,
2015 version?
no, they actually made the really shitty one before that almost nobody talks about. That
Jessica Alba. And
no, the pre-Jessica Alba one.
There was another.
Oh.
There was
really
another-
Oh, like the really, really like.
And it was
There's nothing wrong. I mean, honestly, let's go. Like, Fantastic Four has always been bubblegumish, and I
Yeah.
think
Yes.
that's
the problem.
The problem with Fantastic Four is if they're not sunk in the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
They're super bubblegummy, which
no. Well,
we don't like
why I was
Yeah.
saying it's horrible is because that particular one is actually horrible, and it was only
Yes.
created to hold on to the
The
copyright.
rights,
right.
Yeah.
And then they partnered with Fox because they had bought up all the other X-Men.
Right.
And they said, okay, we'll make movies with you guys. You guys distribute them. And then that partnership has kept. Now, unless Disney goes after specifically the Fantastic Four rights, which they totally could, or they could offer
I'm
to
pretty
extend
sure I
it.
read that Fantastic
Yeah.
Four is included in the deal.
yeah, they got them back in the fold. That's been confirmed.
Yeah.
I had not heard
There
that.
was an article. All
Yeah, I've
they
seen it a
definitely
couple
got the rights
places.
to Fantastic Four and Spider-Man back, or
And
at least
the
Well,
X-Men.
Spider-Man
rights-
definitely.
rights
Yeah.
to use them.
Because Spider-Man was owned by Fox.
All
X-Men
right, we
was
are
owned by
1
Fox.
minute out, so we may as
Yeah.
well prepare ourselves.
Prepare our
Prepare
butts.
your butts.
I hope somebody knows about the CID changes.
Well, we can
Just turn on the developer
yeah,
notes.
just turn up the developer notes, big guy. I read them a couple times. Well,
Just look for the
Jason-
Stealth
Jason
Legion
can-
buff.
Yeah, the stealth.
Legion stealth buff.
That was funny.
I was like, what stealth buff? I don't see one.
Buff? The stealth got buffed? How did stealth get buffed? What, does Island Sight just see everything now?
Sees the behind forest again. Yay!
Yay, terrain doesn't matter to me again.
Yeah. So I was thinking about going back to Legion.
Spiny, counterblast.
And then I tried making lists. I was like, I can't.
all the
Hit that button.
Recording live from the E. Haley Memorial Studios, straight out of Almont, Ontario, it's time for This Death Clock Has 60 Minutes, your one and only weekly Warmahordes news broadcast. It's 8 p.m. Wednesday night, the beers are cold, the news is fresh, and the death clock starts now.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Death Clock. Oh man, it is Christmas time.
it is. Where's my hat?
We're gonna do our special, our first Christmas special.
Yay!
The one, the only. It's gonna be a 3-man CRA tonight. So if you came here for knowledgeable guests, you've come to the wrong show.
I actually had somebody. We have a wide variety of people who listen to our episodes, and depending on what type of things we're talking about during the episode, I will let different people know that they should listen or not listen to the cast. Because I had somebody say, "Yeah, I'm trying to free up some time for your cast tonight," and I'm like, "No, dude, don't bother." And he's like, "What?" And he's like, well, "I've never had anybody say not to listen to their cast," and I'm like, "Well, I know you." And I know the cast we're doing tonight. It's not for you.
Here's the thing. Like, if you just want to hang out and talk War Machine with a bunch of buddies.
Drink some beer
that's
with us.
Who we are.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
We did have a comment from when Arcane Assist announced about last week's episode.
Oh,
we
yeah.
had a comment saying that we bring nothing on but people from Ontario,
yes.
which I think is kind of funny since we had just had Brian Sin on like
like
a week before. It's like, no, we're trying.
So
we're trying to
Brian
bring
doesn't count. That's
Brian's
what we're hearing.
Mr. Malorian.
Mr.
don't count.
Malorian doesn't count. He's a Magic player now.
That's right. Well, the big thing is so that people understand what we're trying to do. We're trying to bring in people that we know are going to be good on the cast, and we reach out quite often to the worldwide meta at large. But we're often going to bring in the people we know. So if you want to be on Moose Machine,
let us know.
Let us know.
Also,
and get to know us.
Also, if you have someone that you'd like to hear from on a topic,
yes,
feel free to
because we
message
run out of
us.
fucking ideas, honestly.
Oh God, yes.
Which is so weird because after I do a cast,
yeah,
I have like 4 more cast ideas.
Well, you write them shit down.
Well, I don't. And then like Sunday rolls around and I'm like, well, we do casts sometimes, don't
Jesus.
Well, we
You're-
may not be
you're
the
quiet,
most brilliant. So,
Will.
anyways, so that being said, we from time to time, I'm quiet. Okay, well, you guys talk.
Okay, I'll talk. No, I don't know.
Well,
what to talk about.
how will that help? If we're not talking into his mic, how will
George.
this in any way help?
How was your week in War Machine, George?
My week in War Machine was pretty bad. Didn't I get my ass kicked? Yeah, I got my ass handed to me a couple of times.
Do tell.
I got my ass handed
Well,
to
you
me
started.
by
It
Jesse.
should be mentioned that you started with a new caster,
Yes, I have been. I
which often leads to an ass kicking or two.
Well, yes.
Oh yeah, totally
Yeah.
leads to it. Like,
yeah,
I
generalized ass kicking
yeah,
is what
you shouldn't-
happens.
You shouldn't feel bad about
So,
losing with a new
I
caster.
pulled out Butcher 3, who I am thoroughly enjoying. But,
Yeah.
is not quite as tanky as I'd like. I don't think
He's
any
tanky
caster-
for a caster.
Oh my
He
God,
is.
Butcher 3 is like.
What
What do you want from a caster? I just want to not die ever.
I want.
I want my caster to be indestructible. That needs to be the first rule on the card.
No.
Indestructible.
No,
this
no.
caster does not die. Then I
Oh.
finally
No,
got
no.
what I want.
I want that rule that Sophia has, where he doesn't die till the next turn.
Oh yeah.
That would be amazing.
yeah.
Okay, anyway, Butcher 3 timed out the first game. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah. It happens.
Second game might as well have been the game that Tim Banky played on Arcane Assist.
Yes.
I did a very similar thing. I moved Butcher up to a position I thought was relatively safe, and it was a Proteus to the face instead of what was Banky? It was a Carney, I believe, to the face.
Yeah.
So the game, other than that, went quite well.
Yeah.
Um,
Wasn't Banky playing Gorshade 3 Ghost Fleet against Butcher?
yeah, Butcher got krakened.
Yes, he got krakened.
Yeah.
That 4-inch reach, just Butcher every time with the 4-inch reach. So if you want to assassinate Butcher, just bring something with 4-inch reach.
Apparently.
Good times.
So Jason, you got a couple games in this week. What happened?
I got one game.
You got
in this
one. Oh,
week
then you had
because
the
I got the
poops.
flu. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to play War Machine when
You're getting swifty.
You have to get swifty every 5 minutes.
So you got one game in.
One game in on Saturday over here at George's place
that's right.
against you.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. It was like right over there.
We were. I was 3 sheets to the wind. By the time we got started, because
You were getting a little nasty. You were getting. Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you were getting. You were like, well, because I picked up my tokens. So I had my tokens by my jack, and I was picking them up so I could have them in my hand,
Yeah.
move the jack,
Yeah.
and be able to put them on the table. And you were like, Will, put your tokens on the table. And I'm like, they're right here, dude.
Yeah.
Ah. It's like, wow. Jason's crusty.
No, I was just
Jesus
I was
Christ.
just drunk.
That was also the game that I finally have just claimed I'm done with cricks. Like, that's it. I'm just gonna dodge cricks at tournaments.
Done with cricks.
I'm done. Well,
So
what
everybody hear that? Next tournament that Will's coming to, I want to
Bring
see
everybody bring
100%
cricks.
everybody bring cricks and you beat me. Yeah, because that's hard to do. No, so we had a good game though. In the end, you just friggin' raffle stomped Ashley.
Just scenario. It was.
Oh no, dude! I don't think you quite remember what happened.
When you were doing a scenario win because all of his shit was dead.
Yeah, you won on
Yes,
scenario.
you won
Scenario.
on. Yes, you won on scenario.
There was like an
But-
hour and a
I'm
half
being
left
nice.
on the clock. There was no chance in hell. I ran shit up to you. My shit did nothing, and then 1,000 Banes showed up and killed everything.
Yeah.
And
That list is really nasty
yeah.
because you think the threat really is the Bane Riders, the 2 units of Bane Riders that are getting up in your face, but really they're just a screen for the Banes that are coming behind them.
You have to kill the Bane Riders because if
Yep.
you don't kill the Bane Riders,
They
then
will kill
everything
stuff too.
They'll kill all your stuff.
Yep.
And if you focus on killing the Bane Riders, then inevitably the Banes
are
arrive.
gonna get you.
Yeah.
The only thing that would have saved me is if I had been able to get Ashland's debuff on you, and I had line of sight to the 2 units. I was able to reach both units
Yeah.
and rolled like 2s. Oh no, it's because you had your feet up, which meant I couldn't actually.
your line of sight was down to
yeah,
5
my line
inches.
of sight was down. It was like
So here's some grapevine rumoring for you, Will, that
Mhm.
you'll absolutely love.
Uh-huh.
Did you know that Kador also has Banes? They're called Doom Reavers.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's super awesome.
Yeah. And I have heard through the grapevine there's somebody who has a list that makes them work.
Oh, really?
And that is going to come out of the closet, and it is going to kill a lot of
Well, and you've got like 2 units of Doom Reavers because you bought them when you went all in Kador. So
No, I bought those way later because I was like, Doom Reavers look awesome. I want
Yeah.
Doom Reavers. But I still need a couple more units.
'cause that's what
Because if you're going to run Doom Reavers, you run Doom Reavers.
Well, I got in a lot of games this week. I got in 3 games this week.
Wow,
I
for you,
got
that's
shit.
2 Ashland
unprecedented.
games in, 1 against Kador, which was your
Oh, yeah, that's right.
list, and then 1 against Crix, which was Jason's list. So, I mean, I fought you 2 guys. You were testing out Butcher, so I played Ashland and just clocked you.
Yep.
But we've also
But
we've learned that you need to spread your nomads a little bit farther out. and
Otherwise, Butcher kills
Butcher just
4
kills-
heavies
That was
by
fucked.
himself on one
don't- that
turn.
was so fucked
That
up.
was amazing.
Wasn't it like
on
4.5?
Well, and it was on Ashland's feet turn.
And on Ashland's
So-
on
turn.
Ashland's feet turn.
like there was
And
nothing.
I want to say too, I was watching your damage rolls for that, and I remember those. They were shit damage rolls.
Yes.
Oh, there was nothing.
Yeah,
you
it
It
got.
would have
He
been
should-
done way quicker.
He should have done it in like 3 less
Oh, and
we
he,
were
he
rolling-
missed a couple of shots
Yeah,
too. Like
yeah,
it
like
wasn't.
three
a
or
couple,
4.
like a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah,
Like,
and you
it-
were rolling 6s on 3 dice, like a lot.
It was literally like.
And he still killed 4.5 nomads.
It was horrible. So
Yeah, the
So-
problem with Butcher is not his output.
George is rolling.
And this was a lesson learned for me. It was just like I've never fought Butcher either, which was one of the best parts about doing games like this. So
Yeah.
especially if your buddy's doing a learning game, it doesn't hurt to
Yeah.
play into it
Yeah.
because you're gonna learn shit too. And
Yep.
I've learned.
Yeah, exactly.
Next time I play
Yep.
Butcher 3, there'll be 3
can't
inches between all the nomads instead of just clumping them up.
Yeah, Butcher 3 is scary, and I'm kind of scared with George playing him because
So
remember that he has a 5-inch pole.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So
but
it has to be farther than
that
3
would,
inches
but that
apart.
would have
Yeah.
burned. But that would have been one thing that you got to pull, and
No,
there
no.
no,
would-
it's everything.
Oh,
within 5
awesome.
inches.
but it would have burned some of your focus at least.
Yes, you're
Yeah,
absolutely correct.
You would have
Like
gotten
2 or
less
3.
shots. But that doesn't matter. That's arbitrary. I'm not
Yeah.
really worried about that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
not.
And then I had
And
my
especially
last
when you know.
my last Crix game using Mercs because that little known
You're just
fact is I
fucking
was
done.
planning on moving over to Grimkin for the year anyway.
Yeah.
So I've got my games in with Mercs that I planned on having. I did a full year and a half of Mercs and nothing.
That's
but
really good.
Mercs,
Yeah,
which I always planned on doing.
longer than I made it.
Yeah.
So I'm switching over to Grimkin for the time being. I've got my 2 lists. I sort of gave my plan to Banky, and Banky they've been Banky approved.
Oh, good.
Ooh.
He's given me some tips on some.
The king is
switches.
here, everybody. Do we have to rise and
Banky's
salute?
here?
No. So he gave me a couple of things to try out that are a little bit different. I'm going to try Wanderer, and the Dreamer will be my pairing.
I don't know what either of those do.
I
know the Dreamer has Manifest Destiny.
Dreamer can. The cool thing about Dreamer is it's got a bunch of shit. She can go. She goes incorporeal every second turn, basically.
Yeah.
Unless you
and
hold
she
it
spawns
back.
her little dudes when you
kill something.
one of her dudes
Which
of the
then-
same base size, right?
Yeah, which then they do cool stuff.
Yeah.
And then the biggest thing with her, she's got some dice skew and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But Wander is, from what I've been reading, is strictly better Kane with a lot of the old Kane 2 jank from like he can pull off really cool assassinations.
Right.
From what I understand. Which fits into what I love is that I love having that kind of pairing. One that's a super deep, like a lot of tools in the toolbox, and then one that's like, I just want to
Straight
kill
up
your
kill ya.
shit
Yeah.
or die, or end this game.
Is the Wanderer the one that I've heard one of those
He's the
Grimkin
one that has
casters?
the extra bases, and if you touch one, he can.
Right. Yeah.
And
That's
if,
the one I was
if you
thinking.
if you hit him,
Yeah.
his Arcana,
Yeah.
or his personal one is that he gets to just move to one of his other bases
Yeah, he
and
just
auto
fucks off on
auto
him.
transfer the damage you did and move to one of the bases.
Yeah.
Kind of awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
So anyways, I'm going to switch to Grimkin. So I got my first Grimkin game in against Jesse. As predicted, Jesse beat my ass in.
Oh well, yeah,
Six
you were
Ways to
playing
Sunday.
the whatever I got out of my
Yeah.
buddy's basement list.
Yeah. And Jesse is a very experienced Legion player.
against Grimkin.
Against
because
Grimkin.
he's
He
Because
playing
he plays
against
against Danny all the
Danny
time.
all the
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
So that was
he
pretty
knew,
bad.
He knows what they do. So
But it was great because I learned a lot because he would tell me how my shit worked.
exactly.
Which was great. He was
yeah.
like, oh,
There's
Will,
nothing
you don't
wrong
want
with
to
that.
do. You
Yeah.
don't want to do that.
You want to watch? Oh, you really want to do this? That's a
Oh,
good
and the
idea.
best part was he showed me how to deny Arcana entirely.
Oh yeah,
So he played an entire
I'm
game
gonna
where
message
there was
Jesse
no
tomorrow.
way I could get an Arcana off.
Yeah.
I really have always found it very strange that people are like, yeah, the Arcana is just like 3 feats in a game, and I'm like, no, it really isn't. It's
Till you play
sometimes
it.
it's between
if you
1
don't
and
know how
0.
to play around them, they're brutal.
Yes, but you should. This is a faction that is now in the game. You
Yep.
should do the minimum. I feel that the minimum for any faction is at least know what the feats do.
I think
Knowing what they do and playing into and around them are two different things.
Yeah, I think
Well,
you just
yeah,
need
no,
experience.
but
Yeah.
if you have that in your head, just like knowing what the feats in a faction do, I think knowing
Yeah.
what Arcana do at least
but
gives
there's
you
way more.
well,
of them.
here's the thing. I think on it from a
than
cat.
feats in Kador.
Well, you got three
Three.
Arcana, right?
Yeah, there's 10 total.
I know, but I'm saying when it's like a caster having 3 feats, right?
No,
you
they-
have to remember not
Caster having
three
three
feats
abilities.
power wise.
Yeah, but you need to know
but
what all the.
3 things to remember instead of 1.
Well, that's why I think it's so. First thing I did was I printed out the feats and put them, or sorry,
Absolutely.
the Arcana, put them on cards because I'm never. I
Oh,
don't.
you
I
have
want to be
to,
able to
yeah.
hand them over to my opponent and be like, "Here they are.
Yes.
look at them."
That's the good thing.
I think from a competitive standpoint, you're absolutely right, G. I think from a casual player's point of
Yeah.
view, you're always going to get gotcha'd by Grimkin if
Oh,
you're
yeah.
just a casual player, and
Um,
that's the problem. I think is especially if you go against a guy who's just playing Grimkin.
Yeah.
And he shows up to your local store and you
Oh
only,
yeah.
you're gonna get
you're
stomped.
going to get gotcha'd. That's
Yeah.
just the way
Yeah.
it's going to go.
Well, a little bit of personal tech when I was playing Grimkin, I always had the 3 feats in front of me, or
Trample.
the 3 Arcana in front of me.
And I trampled everything.
When I use an Arcana, I would put my feat token on top of the Arcana,
Yeah.
and then when Arcana was used, I flipped over that Arcana,
Right.
so I couldn't see
That's a
its
good idea.
text anymore.
I like it. All right.
So we
So-
should actually get into the news.
Well,
Should we start the cast now?
We'll start the cast now. Now that we got the volumes working and all that type of stuff. So tonight's cast is going to be a bit different because it is a 3-man CRA and it is our Christmas cast.
Christmas time.
So we're gonna
Jingle bells, jingle bells.
drink these Krabbies. We're
I'm
gonna
done. Mine is that.
and
that
that's
would
the way
be
it is.
normal. That's why you walk here.
Yep.
We're gonna talk about we're gonna do traditional Christmas things like talk about gifts. and
Talk about
things.
Minion CID.
Talk about Minions. CID. First
You
thing
know,
Roast some
Christmassy.
nuts.
First thing we got is the news. So I think the most important piece of news is the Minions CID.
Ooh,
draft
Definitely
today.
is.
Now none of us are Minions players. Gee, you dabbled a little bit for a very short period of time
Yeah,
in pigs.
I did a journeyman with the most non-minion minion caster.
Yep.
Which is Arcadius.
Yep.
Like he's pretty fun and everything, and I really enjoyed it. But
We do have a minion player in our local meta, though.
yes,
Yep,
And
Aubin's
he's-
decided to play Minions because Gatormen are awesome.
Yep, they really are.
and then so have we talked about Maylock?
We haven't even talked
He's
about
really good.
We haven't even started talking about
No,
this
no,
yet.
but like,
Maylock in general is
well,
fucking really good.
he has Field Marshal Undead, right?
Yep.
And the Gator and Witch Doctor give undead things +1 speed, right?
Yep.
And if you put a Dracodile in his battle group, it's an undead model, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of worrying.
Yeah, that's gonna be
Undead things get +2 armor.
Yeah.
that's gonna be
Yeah,
fun.
that's a big, scary Dracodile.
Yeah.
It's a
I think
really
that fucker
big...
threats like 24 inches with that spray.
Yeah.
Jason's not really worried about it. He's got Banes. They just walk up and do 1 million damage.
Oh.
Right after they've all
Been
died.
blinded. Yeah.
They're all blinded or dead.
Yeah. I'm super terrified of the Dracodile, actually. I think for good reason.
It's good though. I'd like to see. I think that is the Gargossels coming back into play again.
I hope so.
I'm
Thank
hoping we
God.
see more of
Yep.
them. I love playing them, but I find that they really only work in a couple of factions right now.
Yep.
And I'd like
I
to
agree.
see more factions have
Viable
good-
Gargossels.
Well,
good.
I would say
Gargossels.
most of the Colossals are now viable.
Most
So
of the
I would
Colossals
say
are,
having
Which ones
most-
are the Colossals? The War Machine or Hordes ones?
Colossals are War Machine.
Colossals are War Machine. Okay.
So the Khador ones are okay.
One of them is used a lot, and one of them is
Yeah,
just okay.
the Signar one's same thing.
Yeah.
One of them is great. One of them is okay. There's then after that, a lot of it has to do with how they fit into lists.
Convergence
too.
is awesome.
Yeah,
Yes.
Convergence is very good.
We see
the Mercs one is
we see the rat one all the
Yeah.
time.
the Mercs one is good depending on the caster that you've got
Yeah.
it paired
Yeah.
with. Kane 3 plays it okay. Bart plays it great.
Well, I think the thing is, it's actually a choice now.
Mhm.
It's before it was, well, I could have 2 heavies,
Yeah,
Yep.
which
Or
was just
3.
which was just
Or
straight
3,
better.
and in Mercs you can have like 4 nomads for the class. Or not, it's more like 3, but anyway.
Yeah.
But it's. I think that Gargantuans need a hard look at because really trolls we see them, but I think it's because they got fixed.
Pretty much it.
And the Mountain King's
Can't wait
always
for the
been
Storm
pretty
Raptor
good.
to be good because I really want to see that model.
Yeah. You never see it. It's
You never see
unfortunate.
it, and
It's a
it is
beautiful
so
model.
nice.
That actually the Wold Monkey though you do actually.
It's
see-
coming out a bit now.
He- well, it
Bradigus,
depends-
right?
It also depends on he's good with a couple of casters,
Okay.
so not just Bradigus. Because he's got some anti-magic tech, which is always damn useful too.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the minion CID. Jason, what are some of the? I mean, the cool thing is that this minion CID actually had some big changes to the game overall that crossed into a couple other
Yep.
factions, and I think that's probably the takeaway from this more than anything else.
Yeah, we'll start with the first one.
Yeah, go for it.
So, Spiny Growth got reduced to a cost 1.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
so what are the
great
models
for Legion
affected?
players,
Because
but
the
they
model's
listed-
affected. So the Carnivian is affected, obviously. The
Snapper.
Bull Snapper, Getorix,
Yep.
the Razor Worm, and the Rhinodon.
I know that a lot of Circle players were pretty stoked about Ghetto.
Yes,
Getting that
Ghetto
one
getting
reaction.
1 cost. Same with Legion players. The big thing, I mean, it's still self-animus.
Yeah.
So it's not going anywhere but your caster or whatever casts it, like whatever has the actual animi. But it's a really good animi, especially for 1 point cost.
Yes. No, it's
Yeah.
amazing animi.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
great for the caster, too. That's the thing
Yeah.
the thing about Spiny Growth that it doesn't just help
Yeah.
the survivability of your Carnivian.
That's right.
It's game changing for a lot of
Yeah,
casters.
it helps. Yeah, if your armor 14 caster suddenly is armor 16 who deals out D3 in melee against non-warrior models.
Yeah, it was fantastic. So moving down the list.
Counterblast got the same treatment.
Booyah.
Yeah. Mammoth. Who else has that?
Chiron.
Gunborg. Chiron. The
Scorn guy.
The Scorn Drake. The what do they call it? Character Drake.
Yes. Yeah.
Ironback Spitter has it. Stinger, Teraf. Let me check my
Scarif.
notes.
So,
Scarif.
so
Oh,
this is the sign that
this is the shoot back in.
well the good thing that what we're seeing here, I think, and because it's animi. One of the things that we're seeing is a general point reduction in a lot of in animus as we go along. I think what's happened is they're starting to realize that Hordes doesn't sing as well if they can't use their animi because they can't spend their animi because they need it to go kill the things
Yeah.
that they're not balanced to kill anymore
Exactly.
because of high armor skew and all that kind of stuff. So we're
Yes.
seeing some point cost reduction so that you might actually cast your shit.
Mm-hmm.
Next.
Scorn, the Extoller Soul Ward. In the guidance, star action rule, delete the word faction.
Yes.
So he can now do it to minions.
And that's important because there's a theme that that allows you to play a minions army with Scorn.
Yep.
Yep.
So that's
And
pretty
so
sweet.
that means that instead of using the mist Misspeaker, I think
Yep,
it
the
is.
Bogtrog Misspeaker.
To do the guidance, you can do it with your
Stoller.
Stolers.
Cool. Hey, and looks like Grimkin got a change.
Same thing.
Same thing.
But
Remove the word faction.
Since Grimkin can't take anything that's not faction.
They can take what's his Eilish,
Yeah.
and they can only and that you have to choose him as a friendly model because of the way War Room works, which is kind of funny because people complain that how come Eilish isn't in any of my
He's
things?
in all of them.
He's in all of them.
Yeah.
You just have to go choose him as a friendly model first.
Yeah. But
Cool.
with Grimkin, it doesn't really matter.
It even
No.
says in the developer note, offers almost no functionality change inside the Grimkin faction.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Pagani.
So we're gonna skim through this because we're not experts on minions. What we'll do
Nope.
is we'll do a minion cast down the road, and we'll get
Get
someone
someone
to really
on.
talk about it.
Yeah.
But
I want to mention that Jaga Jaga now probably one of the better casters
Yeah.
in
Albin's really looking forward to fucking some
in-
shit up with it.
Hordes, I would say.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
straight up.
Yeah.
Like it's,
cool.
Jaga Jaga just got really good.
There was some confusion today with his feet, I noticed, on the Minions Facebook page. Somebody
really?
thought that
Her?
the
Is
way
it
it's
Yaga
Yeah,
Yaga?
it's hard.
the way it's
Yaga
worded, that if you sacrificed a model, you could affect up to 5 other models or something like that. The way he was reading it, I mean,
He was reading it
technically-
wrong.
He's reading it. He's rules lawyering it a little bit.
Okay.
So it's just the way it's written, and it is written kind of awkwardly. But the intent, I think, is fairly obvious.
Yes.
So don't be a dick and just play it the way it's
and
intended.
That'll probably get clarified.
I'm sure it will,
If it
yeah.
does get played that way in tournament and somebody argues it, then I guarantee you that will get tweaked, or a judge will just tell the person to go screw themselves.
Yeah, don't be ridiculous.
Moving down the list, is there anything else like that stands out in this that excites you guys or scares you guys in Minions?
Well, the changes to the
Changes to the fire frogs. Fire frogs went down in point cost again. That's kind of exciting.
the Croak Raiders?
Croak Raiders went down.
Yeah, they
so
got
they're-
Pathfinder.
Yeah, so they're becoming more and more
They
viable.
got +1 to their darts,
Mhm.
+1 damage.
So they're actually becoming more and more interesting as a
Slowly,
unit to
they're
play.
building back up to Mark II Croaks.
Well, one of the things I believe in the developers' notes that he said is they don't want to go all the way back to Mark
No.
II Croaks. They
Thank
don't
you.
want them for us to be like, oh,
Everybody has
why bother using a
Why
faction
would
thing
they?
when this is so much
well,
better?
there is always the problem of how do you stop minions,
Minions or
models
mercs,
or
yeah.
mercs just replacing normal infantry.
Yeah.
Which was the end of Mark II.
Yeah, that's
basically.
what happened in Mark II.
Yeah,
so,
Vengeance just brought up the Swamp Horror. Got
chain
way
weapon, 4-inch reach.
Way better.
That was
the Swamp
expected.
Horror is
At the time,
kind of
well,
terrifying right
At
now.
the time, I was calling it strictly better Proteus.
Yeah, I think that's a bit of a reach.
Yes.
But yeah, the Swamp Horror is kind of terrifying right now.
Yep.
I'm excited to see. What I'm excited to see is to see some new Minions models hit the table
Yes.
in other armies because,
Yeah.
really, I think everybody's playing relatively faction pure except for some odds and ends since
Yep.
the changes from the Mark II to Mark III.
Yep.
I'd like to see. I'd like to see that bit of variety from time to time.
Besides just Wrong Eye and Snapjaw.
Yeah, except for just them. Hey, they didn't nerf Wrong Eye and Snapjaw.
Yay!
That was kind of like people were like, "There's going to be a nerf to Wrong Eye and Snapjaw." Those
Nope.
sons of bitches.
They just
Nope.
keep kicking ass.
Well, everybody spent too much money on them now.
Yep.
There'd be like a general, like, calls for Pagani's blood or something
Yeah.
like that.
Do we want to mention Maylock and Deathpack?
Sure.
And
Yeah.
So Maylock, really good.
Yep.
So say you have some posse.
I haven't had pussy in years.
So say you got some posse and you're playing them with Maylock
You're enjoying yourself.
and you cast Death Pact. So
Terrible
Jason.
time to cast death.
what's the
Oh, don't ask
stats
me questions.
on a posse?
Oh Jesus. Like Matt Rat, like speed.
Well, speed.
I think
speed,
speed
arm,
5, right?
Yep.
Arm 16.
Yep. And they have
2-inch
that thing
reach.
that when they're engaged.
They have the unyielding.
So I've just cast Death Pact.
Yep.
Now they have +2 armor and they're undead.
Yep. So they're armor 20 right now in melee.
Yeah, they're armor 20 in melee, but how do we get them into melee? Because they're relatively slow.
You speed them up.
You speed them up, and that's because we brought the Gatorman Witch Doctor,
Yeah.
which makes all these troops that are undead.
Yep. She
Suddenly
has
speed up.
Dara Wraith's Death Ride now.
Well, the other thing and also if you put them in the Gatorman theme,
They have 8 boxes.
They have,
They have
box.
8 boxes.
8 boxes, Arm 20 infantry with tough.
And I'm pretty sure they can get
Arm
up
22
to
when they're engaged.
Arm 22 when they're engaged.
I'm
Tough.
pretty sure there's. I'm pretty sure there's
they're
a way to
30.
get them up to Def 14 as well.
Oh my God, that's a tar
prayer?
pit.
Yeah.
Is it their concealment prayer?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
so they've basically become
They're disgusting.
They are-
better than Mark II
They-
tar pit.
yeah.
They are. I think they are the cheapest per box.
Yeah,
per
they're
point.
16 points right now.
All of this
per
being
full
said,
unit?
the one difference is that between Mark II and Mark III is this can only happen in minions.
Exactly.
This whole
Yes.
conundrum
Yeah.
can't really happen in
Yeah, they actually went down a point.
Yeah.
So they went from 17 to 16 points.
That's
and
great.
the feet gives them +2. So
Yes.
their armor 22 under feet are 20 when they're not.
Minty's at home right now doing like a dance.
Yeah.
He's like dancing with his cats, having
Yeah.
a great
Yeah.
day
They're
of his
hard
life.
to remove. They're
Yeah,
really
it's gonna be
hard to get
cool.
rid of.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Yeah, I'm vaguely worried about that.
Yep.
Like that. It's a lot of boxes, and
Yeah.
it's not like they've ever not hit hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Albin likes to take them 3 units and a Sacral Vault, and that really fucks your shit up.
just take Grimkin.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Just play Kador. Just play Crix.
Yeah, their
I-
one saving grace is maybe that they're, what's the POW on their weapons? 14? 12?
I wanna say 14,
12
yeah.
or 14? But I'm sure there's some way
I
to
w-
give them ridiculous.
I want to
power.
see them into Banes because I want to see how that shakes out.
Yeah.
That's
Because
gonna be a
that's
bad-
going to be a bloodbath.
Well, the
somehow.
thing is
Yeah.
that the thing is that it's the max size of the unit is still because they're medium base.
well, they're
Five.
medium bases. They're 5s.
Yeah.
which means that
But
technically
you can
they
take
should.
like 4 units now.
Well, okay,
'Cause they're so cheap.
But
Yeah.
people are taking 4 units of Bane, so you run in. Your point trade is going to be interesting because
Yeah, it would be an interesting match.
yeah,
yeah.
like that's what I mean.
Same
That's
thing
why
with-
I want to see it.
Same thing
It's
with
like,
Drudges. Anything that
Oh,
can
wait.
anything where you just
I
have
tried this match.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, against 2 Sacral Vaults, and it went
Oh,
fucking terribly.
the Sacral Vault.
because
Yeah,
Because
you know
Terra-
what kills Banes?
Sac-
Lots of Banes.
Yeah. So
That's the problem.
Sacral Vaults were just killing Bane Riders, and then Bane Riders were killing Bane Riders, and then all I had left was like 10 Banes.
yeah.
And then there's
That's
like
a bit
these
different.
gators wandering up the
yeah,
middle
it
of the
was
board.
fucking awful.
Yep, that'll happen.
Yeah, that's see that tech. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
gonna
played
be
that
nuts.
match. That was bad.
Yeah. All right. So moving along from the CID going live. So it's no longer CID. It's no longer hashtag fake rules.
Nope.
It is
real,
real hashtag
life
real rules.
Yep.
We can talk about it now. We're going to talk. There were some new model releases this week.
Yeah, today is the 12 Factions of Christmas.
Yep. So they've all hit. They
So,
are available.
Pharaoh Valkyries, your flying lights and Ret.
yeah. Gaston.
Almost everybody gets a caster.
A
'cause
lot of
no one
Hordes
collects
people.
souls like
a lot of
Gaston.
Hordes people are really excited about those Pharaoh Valkyries because they're really good.
Yeah.
For 8 points, you get 3 shield guards, and they have gang, I think, and like they're really fucking good.
So we'll see them in a lot.
I think
other
we'll
than-
probably see them
those
a
will
fair
actually
amount.
hit the table.
Yeah.
That'll be cool. That's about it for that. We're going to go right into our roundtable for this evening.
Mm-hmm.
Roundtable this evening.'re going to talk about All I Want for Christmas. So the point of this is we're gonna banter. I'd like to get an audience involvement in all of this.
Yes.
What we're gonna
Speak
do
up.
is I'm going to give you a price point,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to tell me a cool gift idea within that price point, and then we'll discuss. Probably make fun of you and tell you why it sucks.
I'm assuming models are off the table.
You can, but try to think of it as. I like to think of this as we as gamers sometimes forget to make up lists for our wives.
Mm-hmm.
And what we really wanted was models, and our wives go, "Well, I don't. He never tells me what the hell he wants." So
Yep.
this is maybe we'll give some ideas to some of the folks out there to tell their wives, sweethearts, girlfriends, boyfriends what kind of stuff we'd like, and some alternate ideas for your gamer buddies and gamer friends that aren't just going out and buying a model.
Mm-hmm.
But feel free to throw a model in there too. So let's start. So guys, we're going to start at a $10 price point. Everybody that's watching.
So something under or around
under
10
or
bucks.
around $10. I mean, you can feel free to be a
Good
little
thing
bit
this
flexible.
isn't a GW podcast.
Yeah, nothing.
I can get half of one leg.
So I'm going to send it over to Jason first. Jason, something in the $10 price range that's a cool idea for the gamer in your life, or
maybe-
you, something you want.
Because it's something that you'll use every game, frequently, if you're any good. Dice.
The old
Some-
dice. The old dice. Yeah?
You can get some really fancy dice. You can get for $10 you can get dice that match the colors of your faction.
Mhm.
Can I do a corollary to that?
Sure.
If most gamers already have dice of their faction or whatever,
Right.
if they are a War Machine player specifically,
Mhm.
get them a D8 and a pair of D20s for doing control points and turns.
Oh, that's a
Yes.
good idea.
Because
That's a
that
good-
way you don't
yeah.
have to have a bunch of your normal 6-sided dice that you're just
Yep.
going to pick up by mistake
Yep.
and roll.
That's right.
And you just got like a $2 stocking stuffer right
Yep.
there that'll
Yep.
make it.
Just
Yep. Perfect.
Almost any game store you go to will have like giant bags and boxes of
Yes.
dice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just dig through for one that has 8 sides and 2 that have 20 sides
Yep.
and in colors that you like.
Something I also saw that there's some fun different types of dice. They have so you can buy big foam dice, which are
Yep.
often nice because they don't knock models down.
Yes.
And they don't dent the
and you
shit
can
out of
read them on
tables.
casts and stuff like that. Don't buy giant lead dice because
No.
Metal dice are only good for people who own trays.
Yeah.
So did you have any other ideas with the dice? Any cool things that we didn't mention?
No.
All right. George, $10 price point.
$10 price point. So I want you to go to leevalley.com
Ooh,
and
the Lee Valley
look,
Tools
look
guy.
up screw together stacking jars.
Ooh.
So these are little plastic cases that you can use for tokens or dice or whatever. And what they do is they screw together in as tall a stack as you want. So each jar is about we're War Machine people, so Imperial here. So about 2 inches tall. You guys have both seen them because it's what I use for my tokens.
Yep.
And they come in sets of 4 for like $3.
Yeah, you can and
Yep.
you can put them in a tube. So
Yeah,
that they,
exactly. They fit in every battle foam bag pouch I've
Yep.
ever tried to put them in. And I found that the set of 4, as long as you have a pairing, like a pair of casters,
Yeah.
will take all your focus tokens and everything and all the tokens for those 2 casters.
And we're lucky because Lee Valley or Mr. Lee was from our hometown, so we have this weird little bizarre Lee Valley Tools outpost.
Yeah.
That has, and it's just great to walk in there because there's just all kinds
Oh
of
my
cool.
god, that place is the land of tiny, wonderful things.
Yeah, you find something cool. I buy all my stocking stuffers there.
Yeah.
Like I literally
yeah.
I bought for stocking stuffers this year. They had a box of Swiss Army knives, like little pocket knives. It was $16 for 6 of them.
Jesus
I
Christ.
know
On the
where I'm
pocket,
going.
It just says disposable pocket knives, which is like they fall out of your pocket. You lose them all the time. Why don't you buy 6 of them for $16? I'm like,
Fair, yeah.
genius.
That's actually now I'm seriously considering just
Yep.
getting a handful of those for my desk drawer.
Well, and it's like there we go.
We have a good answer from the chat too.
2 or 3 pots of paint and a new brush. Always a good
Or a
idea.
new brush, yeah. The P3 or the PP brushes are actually pretty good.
Well, the especially
and
their
they're
pro,
like $8 or $9.
Well, their pro brush is a sable brush, which
Yes,
is going to
yep.
last a bit better, and I
Yep.
think it's about $10.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. It's $10. A couple
I-
pots of paint.
What
My-
did you select?
I actually, it's on that vein. I was just going to say the double-sized pot of Agrex Earthshade.
Yes.
Yes.
Always, I go through a pot every army basically.
Yeah.
And I'm never
Sometimes quicker if you knock it over.
exactly.
I was just going to say I went through an entire pot the other day.
All at once
All
in
at
5
once.
minutes.
And it comes in at about $9.99, I think, for the big pot. So it's a double
Yes.
size pot of
Yeah.
it.
Totally worth it.
And
Be
it's
careful about getting the regular version as opposed to the gloss.
Yes,
Yeah.
make
They
sure
now
you
make a
don't get the
gloss
gloss version.
Do not get the gloss
well,
version.
it doesn't matter
Unless
if you're
you
going to
want
hit
it
it,
for gloss.
or you're going to
You're
hit
gonna
it
dull coat it
if you're gonna
anyway,
dull
but-
coat it anyway.
yeah.
But the other things that are cool about Agrex Earthshade that people forget about, if you just prime your minis white,
Yep.
some people do. Agrex Earthshade does most of the work for you for the basing.
Yep.
Yes.
You just dose the base in Agrex Earthshade, and now you have a lovely finished, like, sandy-looking thing.
Yep.
I want to make a little call out here. If you are never planning on painting your army, if you're running the Silver Surfers,
Yeah.
please go out, grab some Agrex Earthshade and the biggest, ugliest brush you've got, and slather all of your models in that.
Can I add a suggestion?
Prime
there?
white first.
Well,
Prime them first.
No, these are people who aren't going to prime. They're going to buy one thing.
Can you? What? Can you?
It
even,
will. You will be really surprised at the definition you
At
get
least it'll bring some definition
on
there.
a model,
suppose.
All right.
because then you know
It's
what
just
that
rub off.
model is.
I would
it
say
doesn't
take
matter.
5 minutes to prime them white and then do that. But I mean,
Or even you can get skin-colored primer now.
I
Ah.
actually would prefer ones with Agrex Earthshade to primed, because primed ones are big white blobs on the other side of the table.
Not if you Xenothol it.
or
They
if you
aren't going to.
Or if you Agrex
So,
Earthshade
like,
it.
Yeah, they
what we're
aren't
talking
going to.
about is these are the
Yeah. Prime it white
the
then or
minimum.
Agrax it.
All right. So now we'll move up the price point to the $30 price point for somebody you actually care about.
Oh,
A little bit, like a friend.
yeah.
Like a close friend. Like for me, that's you got to be a really fucking close friend. So
We're getting the $10 ones.
So,
exactly.
Yeah. So moving over
How
to
are you gonna like your knife?
yeah. Hope you all like your knives. Everybody gets one. So Jason, tell me a bit about what you were doing. The $30.
This is, and we're assuming that this person's been playing for a little bit.
I
So
mean,
they probably already
they're
have
your gamer buddy.
tokens.
Yeah.
Maybe a widget set.
A
widget set will come in extremely handy.
I think they're doing widget sets for the WTC Canada team right now. So if you go to their WTCCanada.com, you can.
That reminds me, I have to see if he needs more.
Because they have a
Yeah.
shopping button, and I believe they have
Yep.
those on there, and those are super useful.
Yep.
Sets and sticks.
Yeah.
So
any kind of widgets really will come in handy.
I know this is kind of difficult, depending on how much you like the person, but a widget set from a thing that they didn't get to go to.
Right.
So if there was
To rub it in.
well,
you.
no, more to have a collectible,
Right.
You know, like either a WTC set, not just like a generic set, but like a WTC.
You're starting to catch
set
on that
or
G collects these things.
or a.
I just lose them. That's all.
Me too.
I have so many sets that I normally give away one
They're
a
all
year.
willed.
No.
It's weird. They just they're cloning themselves.
No, what I generally do is every time the WTC is selling them,
Yeah.
I buy a set, so I have new widgets, and I give my old widgets to someone else.
Well, I give it to new
Yep.
players often.
Yeah.
That's why I
Yep.
don't. I mean, I honestly, I usually keep my yellow Muse one because I really like those because they show up really, really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I collect them at events and stuff, and I
here-
give them away to new
Here's a
players.
note: stay away from clear widgets. You'll never find them on the table.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true.
Yeah.
So, $30 price point.
I was going to say, I was actually going to talk about tokens as well, because tokens are great. If you know the person at all, take a look at what they're using. If they're using the PP tokens, the world is your oyster as far as aftermarkets.
Yeah.
Of course, here we love the Mise en Minis ones. I have a predilection for the wood ones, but the
Now,
colored ones are
None
really
of
good.
those are in the very
No.
few of them are in the $30 price.
range.
Yeah.
Those are more in the $90 price range,
No, the Muse ones are 40 to 50 actually.
depending on the faction. I think.
I'm talking USD.
Right,
Yeah,
okay.
right. Not Canadian.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that
Not Canadian
definitely
pesos.
definitely go to our buddies over at Muse. They're a great way.
Also-
They're one of those things that's a good gift because they're
Also-
expensive and people won't buy them themselves.
Specifically, not necessarily the faction tokens, status effect tokens.
Yeah.
The aim fire tokens.
Aim, fire, knockdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The aim fire tokens are one of my favorite ones because they do double duty as fire tokens, like this thing is on fire, and also the aim tokens so you know which models moved and which ones didn't. Because
Yep.
a lot of people say, okay, so these ones are standing still, and then these guys move, and then they don't token it. And when they're on roll 6, you're like, does this guy have, rat 8 or rat 6?
Those would come in really handy for like Company of Iron as well, right?
Something else in the $10 price point to go back a little bit that I didn't think of. That's
Yep.
a tokeny thing. Glass beads are one of the most useful
Yes.
things I keep in my
Several
box.
bags of them.
Just
yeah.
different colors, and I use them for different things. Like when you need a speed token, like when you just need something
Yeah.
like, I need to mark which one of these dudes did something. I've got these glass tokens that are just
Yeah.
meaningless, but they mean something to me.
Or if you want to mark out like where a feet is going to hit,
Yeah.
it's like these models are in the feet or something.
Yeah, of
like
course,
that.
a lot of that ain't legal but you know,
I don't think anybody really is
nobody
going
really
to care.
cares. So for me in the $30 price point, this is specifically for the person that is advancing their painting skills. The Winsor Newton Series 7 brush
Yeah.
is at
Oh,
about the
yeah.
$38. It's about 19. It depends on the one you want. I like the number 2, but that's because that's what I was taught to paint with.
Number 2s are really good.
You can do number 1s or 0s, which are just as good.
Yeah.
But the point being is that they're you in Canada you can get them for all those people that don't think you can. You go to Desserts online.
Yep.
They show up in like 2 days, and they're generally around $19 to $30 depending on the brush that you've
Nice.
chosen. If you want to take a painter and give them something awesome that will actually elevate them,
Yeah.
it's one of those things that takes a little
Actually
bit.
do make a difference.
Yeah, they make a big
Absolutely.
difference. And they're just awesome.
Yeah.
In the States, super hard to come by, but I bet you if you went to Omar Desserts or to Desserts.com in
Yeah.
Canada, you could probably get them shipped to the States and nobody would be the wiser.
Yeah. Yeah. We get some
Okay.
good ones in the chat too.
Oh, tell me about the ones in the chat, Jason.
So Vengeance in the chat, $30 range. I'd buy and paint a model, $20 model for someone.
Yep.
That's a really great idea.
something
Or
Absolutely.
if you know somebody like a commission painter, usually you can get a caster or a solo. Somebody will paint it up for $20, make it look nice.
I mean, shout out to our buddy Ben, who's now looking for some projects right
Yep.
now. His prices are kind of in that range. So if
Yep.
you wanted to
Yep.
get something done to higher than tabletop quality for a friend, that's a
Yep.
good way to go.
Pseudo Bite brings up con exclusive models tend to go on sale around this time of the year. Really awesome. There's if you know your other's faction, an alternate sculpt is amazing. People love alternate
absolutely.
sculpts.
And alt sculpts always look so cool on the
Yeah.
table.
Pseudobite was saying the PP wet palettes around that price. I'm going to tell you right now, and I love Privateer Press and I love their products. Don't buy the PP wet palette.
No.
Go to your local arts and crafts store, Michael's here in Canada, Hobby
You get
Lobby.
one for half the price.
Go to the paint section. You can get these great big white wet palettes, and that's exactly. And they come with really
I
good.
have one.
wet
It's like
palette
6 by
paper.
6 or something. It's huge.
Don't buy wet palette paper.
No.
Buy yourself a roll of parchment paper, not wax paper. Parchment
Parchment.
paper.
Yeah.
And it's going to be the same price point, but you're going to get twice the palette for
Twice the size.
way more stuff. And I don't like PP's the paper that they use.
It's
for
too
the wet-
thick.
Yeah.
It doesn't soak up the water well
weird.
enough.
Yeah, it's a weird consistency.
It might as well be dry.
Anyway, I don't mean to like bust somebody's balls on that because
No,
the PP
no.
wet palette is like if you don't want to
fine.
go
Yeah.
venture out to a different store to go looking for things.
Yep.
It works great. There's nothing wrong with it. Just if you want to sort of step it up, go get. I wish I could remember the name of the. There's like a specific one that they sell at every art store. in the
Yeah, and
world.
I mean for all it matters,
it's got a lid.
you can get a little Rubbermaid tub and get those blue sponges they sell at
Yep.
the grocery store. Just like even like a 1/4 inch or half-inch thick sponge,
Yep.
and put some parchment paper on it, some water in the bottom. You got yourself.
But
a wet
yeah,
palette.
but use a wet palette because wet palettes
Oh God,
will
yes.
definitely
Use a wet palette.
especially seasons like this
Please.
in winter.
You- at
Yeah.
some point, you guys are going to have to get me onto that because I cannot use those.
Oh,
damn things.
George.
Well, especially in the winter.
Yeah.
It's like now your paint just dries up so fast.
I find my wet palette even just
Yeah.
it sucks
Shrivels
up the
up in a
water.
day.
Yeah.
My $30. Oh, I already did the $30. So now we're gonna move on to the big one, the $100 gift point.
Oh geez.
This is like what you buy your significant other or, your best bro.
Yep.
Whatever you want to, the dude that drives you to all the games.
Yep.
That's that guy, or your significant other. Jason.
Keeping in the hobby vein of things, I got one of these quite a while ago, and I think George actually made fun of me for this quite badly.
I often do.
Because, I mean, I paid quite a bit for it. A little painting table that you can sit on your lap.
Yeah, you bought
And
the GW one,
I did.
which
I
was
did.
hideously expensive.
But I have definitely got my money's worth
Hey
out of
man,
the thing.
as long as you got your value,
I
out
can
of it.
sit in front of the TV. A little lamp clips onto the side of it, so I have a light staring down at what I'm painting. And you just can sit on your couch and paint. It's not a large footprint. It's fantastic.
Would you recommend the GW one?
I would
compared to-
recommend any of them really.
Well, because you could get like a lap desk from IKEA or
Yeah,
something.
I know
that
that
is sort of a similar.
the GW one
size?
specifically has grooves underneath for your legs.
It's
like
spots for your paint,
It's
too.
comfortable, and it has the paint rack.
Okay, so you would specifically say
I would
get-
specifically get one that has a paint rack.
Get a paint one.
Yeah,
There's a few laser companies, laser
Yes.
wood companies that have
Yeah.
built that have like laser etched
yeah.
versions.
I'm not sure if Tectonic has one.
I don't know if he doesn't. Then Dan, get on
he
that.
should, yeah, for sure. But they're super useful.
Yep, George, your $100 price point.
$100 price point. Battle foam.
Mm.
So
The
most
classic
like-
gift, the classic first gift that wives buy their nerdy.
Well,
their nerdy
yeah.
husbands.
here's the thing:
Yep.
for $80 US,
Yep.
so around 100 Canadian pesos, you can get a cardboard box version of your significant other's battle foam bag. So it is a full set of PP foam. So there's what the battle foam calls their standard loadout, and it's in what looks like a banker's box. It's about the same size as your regular battle foam bag, but it's made of cardboard. And the idea is this is a safe place to put models when they're not the army that's in your bag.
Right.
So yeah, those are really good. Unfortunately, I've never seen them retail. I've never seen the cardboard boxes retail. I've only ever seen the actual Battlefront.
Right, at a
box.
retail store.
I think the place in Kingston has them.
Oh, Nexus?
Yeah, I'm pretty
Okay,
sure Nexus
cool.
has them.
If you can find them retail, great.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can order.
Your LGS might be able to even order
Oh
them
yeah,
in for
like
you.
I know either the tower or
Yep.
out of the box can both order
Yep.
in Battle Phone. So
Well, that's
Battle
good.
Phone's
'cause
a great idea for
yeah,
$100.
And honestly, that's I think.
the
Well, we
Privateer
all. I
Press
think
one is called the medium stacker box.
we
Right.
all got it. Like you and I both got ours from our wives. Like
Yeah.
our first Christmas of War
Yes.
Machine type
Yeah.
of thing. It was
Yeah,
like
for sure.
It's pretty much like, what do I get? Will he really
Yeah.
likes this stupid
It's-
game?
It's still one of the
There you
best gifts
go.
I've ever gotten.
Well, yeah. Well, the thing is, it's
And
one
here's
of
the thing: if someone's been playing for a while, you can still get that for them.
Oh,
they
yes.
will love having a second bag.
Yep.
Well, and the thing is that it's one of those. It's a very expensive thing for you to fork out money for when you're
Because it's
buying
that or a
models.
colossal.
Well, because yeah, exactly. When you're buying, well, sometimes more than a colossal, depending
Yeah.
on when you ordered it.
Yeah.
But so for me, and I unfortunately I'm a painter, so I'm gonna I gotta talk about painting things again.
Go for it.
A really good art desk lamp,
Ooh.
Yeah.
which I just finally got one because the good
They
ones
are
are
$100
very
bucks.
expensive.
Yep.
But I just discovered that Costco had really good ones on sale
Right.
here locally, and I got one. It was like $30.
Yeah. It's
But
amazing.
which is great.
Yeah.
Because one of the comments, feedback I got at one of the last competitions was it was obvious that my desk lamp was too bright because all of my paint schemes look super dark in normal light. And it's
Right.
because my desk lamp was so bright and not adjustable that I was
Yep.
always looking at it in really bright light, which was making the colors really pop.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So now this one's adjustable and has 3 different colors of light, so you can sort of zoom through
It's
the
got
different.
like a daylight setting, probably a sad setting because they're
Yeah,
not
but it's like a
general.
blue, a yellow, and a kind of medium between the
Medium
two,
brown,
and you
okay.
can go between the So I can check it in different lights at different light tonalities. I really I think that's a great thing. The other thing that often comes up that's in that $100 price point is you can get people starter airbrushes in that
Right.
sort of range,
Yeah.
or a little bit cheaper.
or a little bit cheaper depending.
I bought a $13 airbrush that turned out to be pretty damn good.
for
But
base coating,
You need so you'd need a compressor to go with
Yeah,
that as well.
that's the
So-
Well,
problem.
see, that's the thing. My entire setup was under $100.
yeah. Well,
Yes.
there you go. Like
That's
with
$100.
you can do a cheap setup.
Yep.
For
Check
$100
your
bucks.
local Kijiji or whatever for
Exactly.
compressors.
You can get compressors cheap as chips because people buy them for air tools and then use the air tools twice.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly. I mean, I use my compressor all the damn time, but then
Yes.
I have more things that I do with it. So,
Yeah.
and compressors are actually useful for other things.
Yes, you can then
Like a
plug
full
air-
size, not a hobby, one of those little ones for doing airbrushes.
No, like
that
a
is
real compressor. Like,
totally
you
useless
can
for
hold one
anything.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one right there.
Yeah, they're totally useless. Oh,
Is there?
that one's actually a decent compressor. You could actually pump up a tire with.
That's
that
that was the last thing I used it for.
one.
actually, was to pump up one of the tires on the van.
So
Nice.
a compressor you'll never is actually a useful thing to have around, a decent one.
Yeah.
But most people looks like I want to say 50% of people pick up an airbrush, try it once, and go, "Well, that wasn't for me."
Especially if they buy a tankless compressor.
Yeah.
Because that is the worst thing you can do to an airbrusher.
Yeah.
as far as I
Alright.
can tell. So,
If you're watching the cast later on, if you're watching or listening to it on if you're listening to it, come to our Facebook page and tell us some gift ideas. We're gonna post them up.
we need to do the last set though.
There's another set.
Yeah. Gift ideas for the War Machine player who has everything.
Oh,
Oh.
yes,
The
gift
no holds barred.
All right.
So
The collector.
The guy just has so much
Got
crap.
every faction, every model.
so what do you get him, Jason?
What's the price point?
Doesn't matter.
Oh,
doesn't
wide
matter.
open?
Uh,
Let's keep it reasonable. Let's say under $1,000.
Holy shit, that's still a lot. Okay,
Like
straight up.
That's what I mean. It's literally the guy who has everything.
I guarantee you that the War Machine player that has everything has one army that is completely unpainted.
There
For
you
under
go.
$1,000, I could go to
A commissioned painter.
commissioned painter, hand them at least 2 or 3 lists, and be like, "Paint that." I think that
Yeah.
would be amazeballs.
I'm gonna say a magic starter set.
Fine point, sir.
War
Fine
Machine
point.
Tactics with all the DLC.
Connor on the
So
on
that's
the
what,
chat.
$7 now?
War Machine Tactics with all the DLC. Yeah, I seen it on Steam the other day for I think $10 with
I
everything.
am really disappointed about that game.
It's
It
unfortunate.
makes me sad.
George, what is your?
So Jason mentioned one end of dice. I'm gonna mention
You're
the
going to
other
go all
end.
the way over.
So this particular set
Made
of
of
dice
meteorite?
that I picked out, no, it's made of beer.
What?
It's compressed hops, and they are inlaid with either electrum or copper if you want to get the slightly lower priced ones.
I'm just picturing Jason sucking on it all the time.
These are not the most expensive dice on this website. These ones are only $283.
Holy shit.
Ridiculous.
The most expensive ones are a type of wood that is no longer around anymore. And they were over $700. But you can
Jesus.
get ridiculously cool dice, but they also have ridiculous price tags.
Yep. You could also do things like, hey, bid on the Nova Open, bid on one of the armies of the Nova Open, something along those lines that might be a little bit less.
There's
Just
also those really
redonkulous.
fancy dice rolling trays that are like
The
several
wormwood?
$100s. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was going with useful things.
Aw. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was our roundtable for this evening. So let's move on to the next segment, which is Focus. Tonight we're going to focus on
Lightning round?
what everybody wants for Christmas for their faction.
Oh.
So again, it's more of a roundtable, really.
Yeah.
But we're just gonna everybody choose a faction, the one that you're playing. I'm not gonna choose Grimkin because I have literally played one game and I don't know shit
What you'd
about
like
them.
for Grimkin is skill.
More
Oh,
models.
yeah, yeah. All I
Skill.
want for Christmas is to not be a noob.
Not be a noob.
To help me get good. Get good. Jason, what faction are you playing now? You
Well,
like,
not necessarily
I've been
playing now, but
waffling.
What maybe
what
what is it?
faction would you like to get something for Christmas?
I want Legion to get better.
So you want that? You want their
Strictly,
CID to happen?
I want that.
Not
I want
just
that
strictly better.
CID
Tell
to
me
happen.
how. Tell me how.
I want the Carney chassis to go down 2 or 3 points.
Okay.
Maybe not all of the Carney definitely is way too fucking expensive. I don't know.
You just want that the grand rebalancing.
I want Mark II Legion back. Not the
You're not gonna
ridiculous.
get it.
Not the ridiculous
Because
eyeless
ain't
sight.
nobody wants.
Not like I don't want to see
Though
the
Mark II
other
Crix
side
is
of
back,
Forest.
so-
I don't want to see I want to build my old Abbey 2 lists and have them actually work.
Yeah.
Oh no, Jesse seemed to work just fine last night.
Yeah. That's with bees though. Bees. All the bees.
Okay. George.
I'd like Convergence to get a large base or huge base caster. I want to see them because this is a faction
More
where
huge base stuff for
well,
Convergence.
well, not necessarily huge base. Just say a large base. Because they don't have character jacks because they don't have like cortexes and stuff.
Right.
What I'd like to see instead of that are either large based solos or large based warcasters that are literally their jacks that have a soul plugged in.
Right.
I think
gotcha.
that would be really cool.
That's cool. For Mercs, I'd love to see Cephalex get a character beast or a character monstrosity. I'd love to
that
just
would
see.
be cool.
I'd love to see one more thing in that faction that that little sub faction that helps round out those lists so that you can move in some different directions. I feel like there's really only 1.5 directions you can go with Cephalex.
What would it do? If you were creating a character, what would it do?
I would love to see it have some way to load up more, like that it could get an extra amount of focus or whatever. So that would be kind of cool. That just it kind of like an overload to a certain degree. Maybe it kills it if you do it. Something along those lines.
So
where-
like he could have up to 6 focus, but for each focus over 3, he takes D3 damage when he uses it or something.
Something really cool that's still fluffy, like that's basically it's mental overload type of thing. There's a bunch of. It would just be really cool to have. For me, even fluff wise, I'd just love to see like the concept of a monstrosity that's like the one that's been trapped for just a dozen years. Like I did Roger the Gobber Drudge.
Yeah, I love
he was
Roger.
awesome.
That I love. I love that idea, but like with something like that actually is different for the faction.
So like an Ogren Drudge or a Nis Drudge or something like that.
It would be cool if it had some sort of ranged attack on it as well. just because there's no beasts in that faction, or monstrosities in Cephalix
With a gun.
With a gun.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to just add that, and it doesn't have to. It's something. It would be cool if it did something,
Yeah.
because something mental, I
Yeah.
guess, would be the way to go. So that's from a wish standpoint, that would be for me. Be awesome.
Does sound really cool. Yeah.
Like he's carrying, he's ripped the arm off of some submachining jack and now carries it around and shoots with it or something. I don't know.
Or mind bullets.
Mind bullets. That's what it has. It has mind bullets. In Grimkin, just to throw my hat in for that one, I'd love to see their colossal would be. We may never
Don't hold
get
your
it.
breath on that one.
Yeah, we may never get it,
A
but
Shoggoth.
it'd be sure.
Oh my god.
As a Grimkin
I would be all
colossal.
in. I would be all in
That
on
would be
Grimkin.
amazing.
It'd be pretty cool. I just love to see that because I think that faction could have something really
Vengeance is saying,
janky.
you do have subduers. You know they have a gun, right?
Yeah. Oh, that is true. The subduers have their net, but that's
Yeah.
they're it's not quite the same. I'm more
Damn it,
talking.
Alan, shut up.
No, it's
I'm talking
vengeance.
about a real damaging, like a real gun, not just a knockdown gun.
Right.
But
So
anyway.
we got a couple of cool ideas in the chat. A character solo for COC.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
Or Cav.
Cav.
COC Cav.
COC Cav, I would just like to see what the fuck that looks like.
Yeah.
Because that sounds amazing.
Robot riders.
Yeah. That would be really cool.
It's like piggybacks. It's
Oh
a
my
bunch
God.
of horses
Yeah.
with robots like squishing them down in the middle.
Alan would like to see Magnus's side of Mercs, the Kingmakers, become their own faction.
Interesting.
I don't want to see that. Or Crucible Guard just to come out and actually be fun.
I'd like
Angry
them to
Ultimates.
I'd like them to give back all the cock models that they've stolen.
Yeah.
I believe the words Jason used while he was drunk the other day was "oh, muffin."
Muffin.
pretty
You want Morty 3 in COC?
Oh God, that would be so amazing. I don't think that will ever happen, but that's just
Mechanical Valkyries on Pegasi. That would be an amazing COC.
it would.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap up this for this evening. It's time for
Focus!
The lightning round.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the lightning round.
There's just the two of us.
10 of the
Oh, shit.
There's nobody
Reason-
with the lag delay.
It's 10 reasonably
All right.
difficult questions. Okay.
It's all Gator's CID.
And neither of us will know anything.
All right. Question number 1. What is the cost of spiny growth? Jason.
One fury point.
Question number 2. Name the 2 minion battle engines. Jason.
The Sacral Vault and the Meat Thresher.
Correctamundo. Question number 3. Bogtrog misspeakers have magic ability what? Number I'm looking for.
7?
Incorrect, sir.
6.
It is 6.
Did they used to have 7?
I don't
I
know.
don't think so.
Question number 4. Barnabas 2 is the Lord of what?
Blood.
Very good, Jason.
Is he the Lord of Blood?
He's the Lord of Blood. Question number 5. Who is the minion battle box caster? According to the journeyman rules. Yeah.
Helga?
It is Helga.
How the hell did you know that?
Question.
I'm
Jason's
okay.
got this shit down.
Apparently.
Remember when he was like the
I told
new
you.
guy?
I told you. I was talking about this
It's
earlier.
like the savant of War Machine.
Jesus.
At least you didn't
I
say
think that's
idiot
pushing.
savant. You just said savant.
I was
was
leaving
gonna
that
say
out. It just that was for you and I. Whatever.
I like vengeance. Yeah, pancakes. Pancakes is definitely the answer.
Pancakes.
Question number 6.
Waffles.
What does Targ wield as a weapon? Go.
Syringe?
Incorrect.
Oh, it's a knife.
It's a butcher knife.
Yeah.
Butcher knife.
As soon as I said that, I'm like, no, that's Arcadius.
Question
He's got the knife.
Question number 7. An earthborn dire troll on rough terrain has speed what? Jason.
7?
It is 7.
Oh, I was gonna go 8. I thought it was 6 plus 2.
No.
Question
5
number
plus
8.
2.
If Conquest fires every one of its guns the maximum rate of fire, how many shots has it taken? Not adding anything from a spell or anything along those lines.
Just a space.
How many bullets can it shoot?
Conquest.
Yes.
So main gun, and then what? D3 on each of the little guns. So
7?
7.
It's 5.
Oh,
It's 5. It's got 2. It's got a rate of fire 2 on its other 2 guns.
Oh, they're I thought they were D3.
so did I.
I never use them. I put
No.
down covering fire,
And then
I
just say,
call it
"Fuck
a
You know,
Yeah,
day.
what's,
those-
you know what's going to be funny is we're going to actually read the rest of the card, and it's going to be like, rate of fire, but when you shoot with this gun, you roll a D3. And I'll have 1,000
Damn it,
people being
James.
like,
We're in the
guys-
lightning round, James.
Question number 9. Chain weapon. The ability chain weapon allows you to do what? Ooh, I'm going to go with George first. Don't worry, he's going to get this wrong, and then you'll get to answer it.
It ignores shields and shield wall. Does it give the reach now? I think it might give the reach now, so the 4-inch reach.
No, it doesn't give the 4-inch reach, but you were right. It ignores
Yeah.
shields, bucklers, and shield wall.
Bucklers.
Most people forget that
Bucklers.
it ignores shield wall. That's the thing.
I know it
I
ignores
know
shields
it does
and shield
because of
wall.
stupid iron fangs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Question number 10. What is the base size on War Beast packs? George.
30 mil?
It is 30 mil, so small bases.
Yeah.
Has to, and that is in the
That's
definition.
part of the definition.
So we shall never well, yeah,
We'll never see
never say
large,
never, but
yeah.
you shouldn't see large based beast packs.
So
actually,
true.
Jason, Jason's the winner tonight.
Absolutely.
Yay!
Yay!
He actually answered like
Like all of them.
8
It was
out of 10,
really
and you knew the
ridiculous.
answer to everything else. So it was
Mm.
pretty amazing, really. Congratulations, buddy. You're kicking ass and taking names.
Names.
Don't know whose name. All right, that is it for this evening. We got to do a little bit of
Bookkeeping?
So first up, please remember that if you're looking for models, you're in Canada, or you're looking for Magic the Gathering cards, the one place to go that you can go online where you can get all that stuff is the Wizards Tower. Go check out wizardstower.com.
If
Also,
you're JVM or Tom Guan, you can get everything you need.
yeah, exactly. Secondly, got to thank our buddies over at Muse on Minis who host this cast and make sure that the rest of the world hears it. Because if it weren't for them,
All 285 or whatever people.
we'd only have the
Yeah.
7 people that are in the chat right
We'd
now.
get the pity listens.
Yeah, the pity listens from our friends
Hey,
and
there's
family.
8. James just got here.
One of them's us.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Please, if you have not gone to our Facebook page, please subscribe to our Facebook page.
And
'cause
check out the picture for this
cast,
podcast. It's
which,
amazing.
yeah, it's beautiful. Thank you, Jason, for upping our art level.
My pleasure.
I think Jason just got annoyed at our level of crap art and was like, "I'm doing good looking
Did you
stuff."
notice?
'cause-
Did you notice he took over the pictures of like the pub night
Yeah,
because mine were so bad
yeah.
that he
they
started
were
just putting up good
yeah,
ones.
They're beautiful. Yeah, I think we just have to annoy him with our lack of
Yeah,
talent.
like I'm gonna break out the MS Paint for like every
nice.
logo for Moose Machine just so he'll
unicorns
redo them all.
puking MS Paint rainbows.
Yeah,
That's
everywhere.
all it is.
No, we can't actually do that. He'll like that.
I would actually.
It actually has to be an honest try, and then he'll be like, "Oh my God, he's trying so hard, but it hurts me."
Jason, anything cool going on in the world of Fraser?
I haven't talked to Fraser this week.
Oh my God,
I
what?
don't think. I assume they're on Christmas break. I don't believe there's an episode of Troll Blood Scrum tonight. but
Probably.
If you're wanting to know, check back in an hour.
Yep.
So things that are coming up so that everybody is sort of in the know as to what's going on, because there's going to be some gaps in the future coming up. So we may as well let you
Gappy.
know. So Christmas holidays, we're definitely taking off. So you won't hear a cast next week. We may try to wrap up the Road to the WTC cast next week if we get a chance. We'll see how that shakes out. We have to talk to Tim and the people that are involved. Bryn, I believe, is the person he wants to bring in for that one.
Bryn Holstock.
So that is
Unless
happening.
I've gotten that name horribly wrong.
If you haven't
I
listened
did
to the
I?
road to the
Oh, okay.
if you haven't listened to the road to the WTC casts, George should be putting those up in the next couple of days. So if you're at all interested in how to get into the WTC, the first 2 episodes should be up and live very, very soon. We are coming up to our 100th episode.
Yeah.
Yikes!
We're like 2 episodes away, I want to say.
I think so. Yeah.
Once we post this one, anyway.
So, announcement now to all of the people that are regulars on the cast, please tune in to the 100th episode. We're going to open up the Skype lines, which means we might actually answer.
Gonna get
Lilac.
weird.
Yeah. When Bilac calls in, we might actually
We might
answer.
answer.
We're going to open up the
Aw.
Skype lines to all of our friends that have been on the cast and the public at large, and we'll do basically a call-in show and
Might last a little bit longer than normal.
Oh, it definitely will because we'll be drinking and drinking hard.
Yeah, I'll be stumbling home for sure.
So stay tuned for the 100th cast, but we're definitely going to have some special guests. We're going to bring in some of our friends and family that have been on the cast in the past. You never know. There might be some other people in the studio, like George's wife, telling us to stop drinking and
Get out of her house.
get out of our house. Last but not
scaring
least,
the dog.
after the 100th episode, we are going to announce that we are going to take a hiatus.
Oh, well, you just announced it. We can't announce it after the 100th
No,
episode.
no, I mean after, but after the 100th, we're announcing now that
Now,
after the 100th
okay.
after the
episode,
100th episode.
Damn it, Jason, stop being a dick.
he was getting super smart. I don't know. He's replaced all of it with Legion.
So
knowledge.
I have this theory that we have done a horrible thing to Jason.
theory.
No, well, like, I mean, other than obvious evidence, we taught him to play at a pub. I think the more he drinks, the better he gets at War Machine, up until a certain point, obviously.
Yeah,
But
there's a tipping point.
then,
Then he
when,
just gets
then
mean.
when he's then when he's sober, he goes to answer questions and they're horrible. Like he's just really bad at
It
it.
could be very much. It's like the.
It's a fine balancing act.
So what we need to do is take him to a tournament and then like slow feed him booze throughout
Yeah,
the day
exactly.
to keep him at a perfect operating level.
Yep.
That sounds
A little
good.
bit of rum in each coat.
Sounds like a
just
terrible
hand him over.
idea for his liver.
Smooth operator.
So things that you need to know about is that we're going to take a 2-month hiatus. We're going to come back in
At the Sioux.
At,
right?
yeah, we're coming back basically a week or two before the Sioux
Yeah.
to do some
Promo for
the Sioux and bring
Yeah.
on some of our buddies who are going to be, we're going to get the hype up like we normally do.
Yeah.
But that 2-month break is going to let us do some rebranding because
Yeah, we're not going to be sitting on our arses doing nothing.
No, we're we're going to be doing some sort of rebuilding of the
And
set.
if there is some
rebranding.
kind of big news, we'll be back to do special
Exactly.
casts
We'll
and
do-
stuff like that.
Yep.
special announcements, mainly just Jason coming
We'll
on.
be
because
back to
people will
touch you in your
people will be like,
favorite places.
"Why is Jason not here?" They'll be saying.
Who knows?
Your brain.
There might be some YouTube content going up in
Yep.
that space.
Absolutely, and one of the things that's going to change is the format of the show is going to change. We're going to keep doing Death Clock, but we're going to space the Death Clock out a little bit more and try to do some
More
other
battle
styles.
reports, some more
hobby
painting.
nights.
Yeah.
Well, specifically, we're going to have a hobby cast that we're going to do,
Yeah.
which will be in the vein of painting with Menoth John to a certain degree. Well, now he's back, so it's not as exciting.
Not often, though. I think just
Um,
once a month or something.
Whenever he feels like
whenever
it.
he
we're gonna
feels
we're gonna
like
sit
it.
around the table and paint and talk about paints, and that will be when
Yeah.
we bring in our buddies like James and Ben and those
Yep.
guys to talk about painting.
Oh, James, by the way. James is listening now.
You're on.
You're going to be a little busier. Hope that's okay.
Yeah, so that stuff is coming up. Stay tuned. We'll
Yep.
have more announcements as we get closer to those times. But don't be dismayed if suddenly there's a long period of time where you don't hear from us. It's,
Feel free to send us messages.
Yeah.
Let us
Yep.
know you miss us.
Yep.
It
The more
warms
you
the
tell us
cockles
that,
of our hearts.
the more likely it is that we'll
Actually come back.
faster. Yeah. All right, that's it for this evening, everybody. Thanks so much, guys. It was
Yeah,
awesome.
thank
doing
you.
It was good to have a 3-man CRA.
And Merry Christmas, motherfuckers.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, George. Hit that button.
Dice down.
Moose Machine and This Death Clock Has 60 Minutes is a proud part of the Muse on Minis network. Podcasts go online every Thursday morning. You can watch the show live every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern on Twitch and keep in touch with us on our Facebook page. Just Google Moose Machine. If you can't find us, you're doing the internet wrong.
Well, that was it. Well, that was tough work. Jason, you're not nearly drunk enough.
No, I'm not.
No.
I can't go home to my wife this sober.
No. Wait, so your mom's going to be here next week, right?
I'm not sure.
I thought she was coming to the
It's
Friend us.
expensive.
Yeah.
To
Oh,
come
no
for
kidding.
2 days.
Oh,
It
no
would be.
shit,
It's
dude.
like, yeah. No, she just because her boyfriend Paul runs a snowplow business, so he can't stay away for a long time, and it'll equal out to about $800 each for a round trip
Oh,
for
yeah, that's
fucking
brutal.
2-3 days. But they offered to come up during the Sioux so that Marbles and I could
Oh,
go.
dang. So that we can. Well, I'll
So-
split a hotel room with her. That's cool.
Yeah. Not my mom.
What? Oh, sorry.
No, my mom's going to stay
I
and
thought
babysit.
she was going to come to the Sioux.
No. My mom's staying and babysitting the kids.
Never mind.
Jesus Christ.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go visit my dad in Florida, but I'm ponying it on to
Over
another shoot.
Christmas?
And he was like, "No, it's like January."
Okay.
But he was like, "You should bring June down," and I'm like, I'm not flying June to Florida.
I cannot see June enjoying Florida.
Well, there's stuff that she'd enjoy.
The heat? The
She'd
heat?
like the manatee in the winter.
Oh,
It's not
I
that
suppose
hot.
it's winter,
And
yeah.
manatees. She'd be stoked to go see manatees
yeah.
and paddle
I'd
and
love
stuff like
to.
that.
Can I go instead?
And
If she doesn't want to
there's
go,
a
can I
biking
go?
trail right there. Like there's
Yeah.
the things that she'll enjoy, but for me, it was more like for 2 days, I'm not going to spend $600 to fly her down and back.
Yeah.
It just sounds like a horrible idea.
James, there's always room for you, buddy.
There's always room for
We
James
always
in the
make room for
hotel
James.
room. Okay, everybody.
You wear earplugs because then you can share a room with the snorers.
Just don't share a bathroom with G. I'm going to leave it at that.
No.
All right, everybody.
I got Swifty. Where was she leaving?
Oh, shit. We didn't bring on Vengeance's graphic.
Ah.
Vengeance said
Fuck.
he sat
God
here
damn
for the
it.
entire time.
Oh, my
I'm so
God.
sorry, dude.
We just fucking snubbed him out.
Holy fuck. That was
Well,
super
you know
rude.
what? We'll put it on the face.
I'm going to, when we post it tomorrow, I'm going to put it right in the post. Or
Oh,
will you
nice.
do the post? So
Yeah.
I'll send you the graphic. We'll add it right
Why don't we
into
do a
the
post with it? Like that
Yeah, that's what I
graphic
mean.
tomorrow.
Yeah. We'll do a post with that graphic because
that's really sweet.
it's a super, super awesome graphic. It breaks down the point per cost for each faction. Yeah, the dollars per point cost. So if you want to know
Which is the most expensive faction?
which
to
is the
dive
most
into?
expensive faction, and some of the stuff is, but some of it is not.
Grimkin was actually pretty expensive. from what I-
Grimkin, and there's some Crick stuff in there that was more than Trolls too. So
I just assumed that the most expensive faction was Trolls.
no, for most things, I think it is.
Like, I mean,
Yeah.
when everything in your faction is metal and medium based.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
but yeah,
really sweet. So what we'll do is let's post it tomorrow, and then remember to talk about. That's a really interesting thing to talk about.
It is.
in the next show.
Yeah.
Maybe what we'll do is
Game designer?
no, not for good games anyway.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking
No.
about someone who could speak to that as part of the process. It's like I'm a business
Yep.
making models and making a game. How does points per dollar spent affect my game? Like, do I have to
Yeah.
put it under a certain amount, or else people won't play my game?
Yeah, for sure.
That
That might be a good focus to bring up in the next cast. Actually, just like
All right. Well, we've got. It sounds
Yeah.
like we've got our next cast. Maybe we'll. Let
Yeah.
them-
Somebody write that shit down. This is what I was talking about.
Well,
Yeah.
and so it was Vengeance that did the
yeah,
graphic.
it was Vengeance that did the,
Well, why
the
don't
graphic.
we can even bring him on to talk about it.
Sure.
and-
Yeah, that'd be
and-
awesome.
and,
If he's
uh,
interested or if he has, he said he normally works Wednesday,
All right. Well, we can. always
but
work around
we'll
his
figure
schedule.
something out.
All right,
Yeah, I'll
awesome
talk to
guys.
him.
I think we're gonna leave you tonight, but yeah, Vengeance talk to Maelstrom tomorrow, and,
Yep.
and he'll work that out because I think that's
Yeah,
it's a great topic, and maybe
Yeah.
we see about maybe that might be a way to ping Pagani and see if he'd be interested,
Oh,
and
that
at
might-
least
yeah.
speaking to it, like we can send it to him and see what he has to say, and we can
Yep.
always quote him or if he's
Yep.
got time.
It might be. Yeah. When is our next cast going to be?
Probably January.
January. Okay.
after the
Yeah, that's
holidays.
not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
All
sure.
right.
Sounds good.
January 10th, I would say.
January 10th.
3 is a little short.
We're still recovering from New Year's at that
Are you
point.
gone on 10?
I think I leave the 19th.
You leave the 19th? Okay.
So it looks
So
like
you
we
should
should
be
be
good
able
for
to
the
get the
10th.
last two casts in before I
In
go.
January.
We might have to do one the 3rd just to make
Yeah.
sure. All right,
Yeah.
guys, that's it for us. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Cheers, everybody.
See you in a few weeks.